Welcome back to Switch Corner. My name is Alex, and today we're taking a look at 12 minutes on the Nintendo Switch, an adventure experience where you find yourself stuck in a time loop. But is this one going to be worth your time, or are you better off holding onto that cash? Well, hit subscribe if you love the Switch, as much as we all do here, join our growing family, and let's get started. So story and the concept, it's simple enough. You play a young husband returning home to his wife after what appears to be a day at work. Offense have occurred and she has a surprise for you with a romantic evening planned of desserts. Things are interrupted, however, when a police officer arrives at your door, accuses your wife of murder, and proceeds to harm you. Then, in an instant, you're teleported back to the beginning of the 12 minutes. Now you repeat that loop, get to the bottom of the mystery, the accusations, and a whole lot more that I'll be avoiding today for spoilers' sake. It's also worth noting as well here, the footage, it may seem repetitive, but there's often constant dialogue. I've removed subtitles again to avoid spoilers, and some of the footage, I will at least say, may give you a few hints to options you have available. Also then finally, 12 minutes contains what I would call multiple endings, but there is a true ending packed in here as well. So gameplay on this one largely reflects almost a point-and-click adventure style to its gameplay, with a particularly adult and aggressive storyline. Moving around this world though, progressing that story forward, it's going to be a combination of explaining what is occurring to your wife, figuring out how to potentially address the couple, how to handle them, and what environmental objects can be leveraged to act in your favour. This game though, it won't be a one loop and done affair, that is for sure. My first playthrough was somewhere in the region of 8 to 10 hours, and while it doesn't shift away from the small apartment setting, it's pretty incredible how much they've packed in and how many branching pathways can be found. Those also thinking then, oh, I'll just leave the apartment, get on with my life, that just sends you back to the beginning, both a frustrating trap saying you've got to use your brain to get out of this, but also it acts as a reset point if you make a mistake in a chain of actions that you want to see play out. The game also understands much of the moment-to-moment dialogue and animation is repeating, so it's packed in a fast forward button, so you don't need to worry about that either. This is a really difficult game not to spoil, quite honestly, so I'm being purposely very undescriptive of what occurs. The base experience though, dialogue moments will often lead to knowledge able to push the story forward or point you at least in the right direction, and exploration will lead to actions from our characters or even usable items. A few early examples: mugs, a knife on the counter, desserts, and so on. Again, look, I know I'm not giving you a whole lot of, let's say, explanation here, but it really is a game that's going to be best experienced for yourself. Control-wise then as well, that can take a little while to get used to. It's a cursor on screen which will direct our character around this world. You'll click on what you want to interact with or where you want to move to. Fortunately though, a few loops in and you'll definitely feel comfortable with it. The only other control element then is the inventory management. With a tap of the right or left trigger, a menu pops up from the top of the screen. You can select items and investigate them, and then you can either use them within the world or attempt to combine them with something else. Overall though, look, outside of some frustrations where you may find you get stuck, I really enjoyed the world. I thought the gameplay was simplistic but still challenging, asking me to use my brain. And yeah, again, incredible how much they've packed into such a small apartment. The only question I keep asking myself though is, what if they had given us traditional control of the character? Would that have maybe translated better than a point and click sort of setup? Also then, I did check in the options as well for touchscreen functionality. That would have been a perfect fit. Unfortunately, it is not present. The only thing you will find in the options, the ability to remove subtitles as per today's footage. They've added HD rumble that can be turned on or off, and you can also then change the cursor sensitivity as well. So visually, while they've clearly cut some corners on the Nintendo Switch, I thought it looked great. The top-down view is unique, and while it is generally simplistic in design, no matter the platform you're playing it on, I think it does a good job of representing a lived-in apartment with just, small objects littered throughout and a functional layout that makes sense. Think here a small one bed, closet, bathroom, all that good stuff, and then an open living room to dining area. That resolution though on the Switch, and obviously the general lack of power in comparison to some of the other systems, it has led to some pixelation, not that it really for me impacted the overall experience. An issue that I did find, however, visually on any platform, for those unaware, I actually initially played this on the Xbox, the animations, they can be a little unrealistic and stiff, especially as you choose a different direction. Just like occasionally you'll notice them almost contort in some more than strange ways. This also then leads to clipping. Characters occasionally they walked through each other, but I believe this was more a design decision to ensure you're not constantly bumping into each other. Again, it's a small apartment, it feels like a solution rather than an issue. Audio finally, and first off, the voice acting, it is top quality. This is a Hollywood cast with James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley and Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe is particularly impressive in the role of the cop, a terrifying and formidable opponent. Daisy and James also get their time to shine, but it's in a more subdued manner, which is in keeping with the story. There is some minor sound effects as well, which do just fine. I particularly like the storm effects outside of the apartment, it adds some ambience, and we also get a particularly nice soundtrack, though it's not frequent, and often it's more to kind of build up into the emotion rather than, you know, traditional melodic pieces. So the final verdict, and I think it would be unfair to not point out here, 12 minutes, it's received its fair share of criticism and controversy thanks to its themes. From adult language to some of its statements to sexual themes, it has it all, and there's no question it's dark stuff as well that won't sit well with some out there. For me though, it's a bold piece of work that's not perfect, but it is unique, reminding me of more than a few cult classics of cinema. Don't play it around the kids, basically. This is adult entertainment, and some of its ideas and visuals, they may offend. I think that's going to be the best summary I can give. For me though, I enjoyed its world. Reviews currently, they are absolutely polarizing on this one for sure. Just take a look over on Metacritic, but I'm definitely on the upper end of the scale, and it's a great 8 out of 10 from me. As ports go as well, I gotta give it to them. Once you get past the somewhat awkward controls, it really is good stuff. Will you be adding this one to the library then, or are you holding onto that cache? Have you downloaded it already? If so, what do you think? With that then, like a shout out to the patrons of the channel who are going above and beyond to support Switch Corner. It helps more than you know, so thank you all so much. Then hit subscribe if you love the Switch, as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.